Oh, there's a Star Wars ad playing on Twitch in my ears and I'm distracted.
But it's Lego BB-8.
Wow, you can play as BB-8?
You can't even be mad about this. Like, it's awesome.
I am actually really not that... Wow, you can't mute it and you can't pause it anymore.
Welcome to Twitch.
You can't just say...
Watch this thing glitches out. It's funny.
You can't just say, This is ridiculous. You can't just say, no, I actually don't want to watch the stream in my own dashboard. I actually just want to monitor chat and make changes to the stream. I still can't pause it. Welcome to the WAN show, guys. We've got a lot of great topics for you today and some fairly mediocre ones. And some that are actually just downright boring, but we're going to do our best to spice them up. And what are you doing?
I'm being a bro.
You're being a bro?
Yeah, I gave him thumbs up, gave him another thumbs up, gave him both thumbs up, gave this hand a high five, gave that hand a high five.
So you're like a self-bro?
Yeah.
Self-bro yourself?
Yeah.
Okay.
Go bro yourself.
So Germany's fusion reactor creates hydrogen plasma in a world first, which is kind of like, hydrogen atoms broing each other. Microsoft is testing underwater data centers, a world first.
Yeah, and Google is going to be beaming 5G internet from like solar drones and stuff, which is a world. Hopefully they don't bro themselves because then they fall.
Yeah, broing planes is
bad.
Plain bro. Plain bro.
You don't want to do that. Anyways, also Microsoft Windows 10 is really annoying when it tries to like do the thing automatically.
Not just tries, when it succeeds at doing things automatically.
And it like bricks your computer.
All right, let's roll that intro.
Thanks, Microsoft.
Someone says he's throwing himself.
Oh, wait, what?
Oh. No, it says Wow, so that's just... by the way, you're in charge of the stream computer.
Right. Squarespace! Freshbooks! And put that up there and then go back.
So this guy right here...
I thought it said your name.
So this guy right here is like, oh yeah, here, look at the Twitch chat, look at the Twitch chat, look at the Twitch chat. And the message is just like, Luke is one fine specimen of a human man or something like that.
I thought it said Linus.
And did I say Linus just now? No, I said Luke.
No,
right?
I thought it said
Linus. I'm just like, okay, why are you showing me this? It's like, I get it, you're hot.
I thought it's...
You don't have to rub it in my face.
I thought
or if you're going to rub your hotness in my face, it could at least be after the show.
I thought that I was trying to share a compliment from someone else to you. I didn't realize that I was trying to share a compliment from someone else to me with you.
It's like, I mean, what's next? Are you going to like screenshot it and send an email to your mom?
Hey mom, look, this random person on the internet likes me.
Look, mom, you made a good human. Okay, so...
Oh, that wasn't awkward at all.
Let's jump right into our first topic from Giving TNT on the forum. Original article here is from iflscience.com. Want to throw us over on my... oh, wow. Yeah, with you in charge of the links and changing this, that's going to be kind of hard. Germany fusion reactor creates hydrogen plasma in a world first. Now, this right here... I mean, yeah, we did 7 gamers, 1 CPU. We're talking $30,000 computer. No, my friends, that is a $1.1 billion fusion reactor.
But, like, the idea... Oh, you want to go back?
Oh, no, I realized that we are not here. Do you remember which one we are?
No, but I can figure this out while you talk.
That's not it.
That's a fun thing, though. That's cool. Anyways, one of the huge benefits, yes, it costs a lot right now, but the idea is that you can make basically limitless clean energy, which is like kind of maybe worth it.
Kind of something we need right now. I was talking to Taryn about this in the car the other day. Actually, Taryn is both irritating and fun to talk to in the car because
depends what the topic is.
It
can be wonderful.
Yeah, or it can be just sort of like... Why would I? Why do you care? Why would anyone care about this, Taryn? Please, for the love of all that is good, move on. Thank you.
You can just like, and I'll do it.
Sure. Okay, I'll go like this.
Yeah.
Or I'll touch your thigh.
Okay.
Okay. Anyway, he was saying that we've used up something along the lines of half of the world's oil reserve. The only reason we have oil is because of there being a lot of oxygen in the air, like 200 million years ago or something ridiculous like that. And we had global forests, which at the time, because there was nothing that could break down, that could decompose wood would just fall on top of each other. Global firestorms, they would burn, then they'd fall on top of each other some more, and then in the swamps, all this eventually turned into, yay, petroleum. So when we run out of oil, which we probably won't for a very, 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 very long time, it's just going to get a lot more expensive because we're going to have to extract it from...
more difficult to get to it.
It's like, yay, Canadian economy. We're going to have to extract it from places like the oil sands, where the price has to be higher in order to make it economical to do it. So we're not going to be able to rely on it to nearly the same extent that we can now. So electricity, like, sounds all fine and good. It's like, yeah, I've got an electric vehicle. I'm helping the environment. Except that your electric vehicle is probably being charged with electricity that was produced from burning coal.
Depends where you live.
Depending on where you live.
If you live in BC, no.
Then it's legitimately actually falling water that's taking care of most of your... In fact, our power company is called BC Hydro.
Hydro.
That is not our water company. I don't even know what our water company is called.
To be fair, it's probably both. We're not that big.
Well,
they might just have one group manage all of it.
So BC Hydro, like it's pretty much all hydropower up here. But if you live somewhere where most of the power is being provided by coal, there's actually it's not like, I believe it is still better to produce the electricity in one place, economies of scale, et cetera, but it's not like, yay, I'm just using renewable energy sources or anything like that. Sorry, I'm really not feeling well this week. I'm having sort of a
what
crap
a great week
overall.
to not be feeling well on.
Yeah, we've got a new employee here who came in and started giving everyone these crazy, like, weekly video quotas and stuff like that, trying to organize us, like, get us on track.
The weekly video quotas are obscene right now, but there's reasons for that we can't necessarily...
Yeah. That we'll get more into later, but basically we've been really busy. We've had a lot to do, and I'm sorry. Anyway, so... producing electricity. There are ways to do it that are green. Solar looks pretty good. Wind looks pretty good. Tidal looks promising, hopefully, at some point in the future, in 100 years from now, or whenever we can figure that out. But the problem with those things is that, wind, even if we could increase the efficiency to dramatically beyond what we have today, is not even close to what the energy needs of the world are going to be moving forward.
Temperamental reliance.
Solar is still really not very close. It's not economical right now.
Okay, it might not be super economical, but you could actually power an obscene amount of stuff if you set it up all properly, and there's a lot of work that would need to go into that.
Yes, so we're not, I don't mean not close in terms of the efficiency of the panels. That is advancing in just leaps and bounds right now. But in terms of the economies of actually rolling it out, we all saw that Solar Freakin' Roadways video, which turned out to be just completely a pipe dream. Nothing to do with reality. Where they were claiming that these solar roadways would have the same or better traction characteristics compared to concrete, which, wasn't a thing at all.
There's a lot of other problems,
too. There were a lot of other problems.
There were huge amounts of problems with that whole thing.
Lots of problems. But there will be a solution. But if not, then at the very least, fusion, we're hoping, is the answer. So what was really cool about what they did here, in the... $1.1 billion 19-year project. This is the experimental reactor, the Wendelstein 7X in Germany. What they managed to do was to initiate the fusion process, which requires extremely high temperatures, around 100 million degrees Celsius.
Actually extremely high temperatures.
And then at these temperatures, the atoms of hydrogen become energetically excited and form a plasma cloud. Now, in order to be sustained, this is great, the atoms of hydrogen... The plasma cloud cannot touch the cold walls of the reactor, so it requires 425 tons of superconducting, supercooled magnets.
You wonder where that cost came from?
That keep it suspended. And then, at high ignition temperatures, along with an effect called quantum tunneling, the hydrogen particles begin to collide and fuse, which releases energy and forms heavy elements. Now, There is a bit of a problem. This reactor was not designed to produce energy. It is an experimental reactor. It's designed to recreate the conditions found deep within the sun. But if nothing else, any progress that is being made on fusion power is extraordinarily notable because it is much cleaner and much more sustainable than fission, which is what we're using now, where you break apart the atoms, you end up with all this horrifying atomic waste.
Sounds like you kind of drew out the word fission a little bit.
Did I?
Because you said, I don't know, I might have heard you wrong, but I thought you said fission.
I have a cold.
Yeah, I know. But it just sounds like it's much more effective than fission.
It's
just not bringing us that much energy.
Yeah, I was burning those fish all night, and all I got was dinner. And it weren't very good because I burned it.
Oh, damn.
So I've got people saying burning coil is still better. Burning coil? Are we talking like
burning
coilers? Like, is that the conversation we're having right now? Because I'm legitimately not sure. All right, this is really cool. Microsoft testing underwater data centers. Want to fire me over to my screen here? So
sorry.
This is called Project Natick. I don't know how it's pronounced. Anyway, it came from a research paper that was written in 2014 by several Microsoft data center employees. And if we head over to the, here we go. So here's a really cool look at the prototype. I'm actually going to drop back over to the dock and fire up the actual site here. And now what I originally envisioned when I read about this, when I heard, okay, underwater data centers, I thought more along the lines of a traditional data center. So where you've got like a building, and then you've got
towers and stuff.
Yeah, and then you've got like cabinets upon cabinets upon cabinets.
I thought they were gonna dunk things that looked like shipping containers. I was wrong.
So we were both wrong. So the objective here is to eliminate the costs associated with with cooling a data center, which is enormous, like freaking enormous. So what I had kind of thought in my brain, because I'm not a Microsoft engineer, obviously, was they were going to build these underwater, like bubble dome things. I didn't really think it would necessarily be a dome, but domes are, structurally sound.
Yeah.
A reason for it to not be a dome. Anyway, so they would fill it with cabinets and racks and servers. And then what I was kind of thinking was, okay, so where they would normally water cool a server and then have that go to an air conditioner or have that heat exhaust into the atmosphere, they would water cool the servers pretty much exactly the same way. Obviously, they would water cool the servers exactly the same way. And then I wasn't sure whether they would use salt water for the actual cooling, and then they'd have to develop like cooling systems that are resistant to corrosion, obviously. Or if what they would do was they would just take like essentially like a gigantic heat sink and put it next to the data center and then run their freshwater cooling through that in order to cool it in the ocean.
Again, also wrong. I was going more that direction. I thought they were going to use basically, like, not an actual shipping container, but shipping container size kind of thing, and then use the entire outside of it as a giant heatsink that water would always be touching.
Okay, so we're both wrong.
Wrong.
That's a crab.
That is a crab.
So let's have a look at what it actually looks like. So here it is next to a person for scale on a boat here. And the way that they're actually planning to do it is the data center would be quite spread out. So you would have a whack ton of these things deployed all over the place, and then they would be tethered together by, it sounds like, steel cables and fiber optic links. So the actual cooling of the unit looks like it's being handled here, but I don't necessarily have all the full details.
Like how it works or anything like that.
Yeah, and where like my idea was if you had to do some maintenance on the thing, you would, I don't know, take a submersible down there and work on it or something, or like obviously kind of stupid because that's really hard. Whereas with these, without taking everything offline, you would just pull the unit up and work on it. Now, with that said, they don't plan to work on them very often. The objective would be to have each of these capsules good for a lifetime of about 20 years. And then the plan would be to bring them up about every 5 years to replace the hardware, similarly to what they would do in the data center now, where
Yeah, because they don't necessarily just cycle out hardware at a data center when it breaks. They cycle out hardware at a data center when they get new stuff to not only stay ahead of the curve, but also to avoid problems like hardware being old and just breaking because it's old.
Yeah, because the cost of having, $100 an hour, server, data center administrator running around swapping out RAM modules.
It's super not worth it. They even have tools.
Not
this
good.
is one cool thing. For like supercomputers and stuff where they swap out the CPUs from time to time,
yeah.
They have tools that mass swap CPUs.
That's cool.
They have like grabbers that can take like 6 at a time and like swap them in and swap them out and stuff. Like it's crazy. Yeah. Anyways, sorry. Random little tidbit. Moving on.
So there's a lot of advantages here. So there's the cooling advantage. There's the advantage of being able to get the data center, and I feel like calling it a data center is sort of a misnomer.
They need a new term for it.
Because it's not, it's more like a data...
Like link center or something. Center doesn't work though.
Yeah, because it's kind of spread out.
Link doesn't work.
I don't know what they want to call it, because, and remember too though...
Data array link.
We're thinking very short term. Microsoft is thinking 20 years. 20 years from now, that could be a data center.
Yeah, but I don't think you'd call it center, because centered literally.
I don't know. I guess because the way I'm thinking about it is, in order to replace sort of the traditional data center, they would need hundreds or thousands of those spread out and linked together. Whereas, maybe, so here's one of the things they're talking about. One advantage would be the proximity to the users. So instead of me linking to a data center in California somewhere up here in British Columbia, they would have one of these just right off the coast.
Yeah.
Where you don't have to deal with all the, right of way for running connections. You don't have to deal with the real estate involved in building something like that. So the actual link speed could potentially be better. So I don't know, would you call it a center if it was serving the entirety of BC and Alberta or something?
I would not call it a center.
You still wouldn't call it a center?
Because it's not a centrally located thing.
So you're thinking of center in sort of the literal sense.
Yeah.
So it should be, we're talking spokes.
Yeah.
It has to be at the center of a lot of spokes, otherwise you lose.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
I don't know if that's... I think that's what it's kind of referencing, but I'm not entirely sure. Let's see what the Twitch chat has to say about my theory.
This is another advantage to it, too, is that combined with some other technologies, here's an idea to pool cluster.
Get it? I love that. Good job. Who in Twitch chat said that? Let me find them.
So here's another idea that they could use,
SM1 something, whatever.
They're talking about these, these containers that they could suspend beneath the surface of the ocean, and they could combine these with a turbine or a tidal system in order to actually power the things as well, or at least help power them. So it could help with power, it could help with proximity to data, and it could help with cooling, with I guess the one major disadvantage being that if anything goes wrong with it, it is under the freaking ocean. But, I don't know. Hopefully they thought of that. So they figure if they mass produce the capsules,
they probably have ways for pass through. So if one goes down, they can just skip it temporarily and then fix it later on.
Microsoft's not exactly new to the whole data game, so hopefully they've got it figured out. So while Microsoft is headed under the ocean, Google has its sights set on the sky. So this was posted by Dob SJR on the forum. The original article here is from Engadget, and it says Google plans to beam 5G internet from solar drones, which I read the headline and I was like, oh, sorry, what? Solar drones? Like drones on the sun?
Oh.
What do you mean solar drones?
Solar powered drones.
Yeah, solar powered drones. So the picture made it pretty clear.
Yeah, there we go.
So these drones would be, I believe it's, optionally
piloted.
Optionally piloted. So they could
OPA, yeah.
Yeah, so you could control it remotely, or it could just fly around on its own. They've actually got permission to test them up until when is
July?
it? July or something like that.
I will find it in a moment.
So the plan is for these to be perpetually powered by the sun, Hence the entire top of the wing, and I'm going to call this elevator, but I know the elevator is actually just the little flap that goes on the back of it, so you'll have to forgive me. As well as the rudder here. Entirety of it is covered in solar panels. And then what it would do is it would actually act as sort of a replacement for the traditional cell phone tower. Can you go ahead and switch back? So the issue with cell phones right now, with faster data speeds and with adding more customers to the network, is that the spectrum that is traditionally used is pretty darn chock full. I mean, we even had an incident this week. Mm-hmm. Last week. No,
this week.
Well, we fixed it this week.
Oh.
Whatever. We had an incident about a week ago where Rogers, one of the local cell phone providers, came to our office and they were like, yo, you guys need to turn off your cell phone booster. And we were like, what? It's like,
why?
It's good in Canada. Like we checked, we made sure. And they're like, well, you guys have got a problem where you are causing some kind of attenuation nonsense. Our antenna inside was too close to our antenna outside the building. And they were basically blasting, like kind of screeching on part of Rogers' band. And so our provider, we're almost all on Bell here in the building, never said anything to us about it because it's not their free spectrum. They don't care. But the guy from Rogers was like, yeah, you guys are going to have to turn that off until you can get the thing fixed.
And it's not just like them trying to protect their band. Like that could make it so that Rogers customers wouldn't be able to like call emergency services and stuff.
So, I mean, we totally didn't realize.
No.
And they're like, yeah, you know, that's how it is. Most of the time, people don't realize. So, hey, just turn it off for now, get it fixed, and then let us know when you turn it back on so we can check and see if we have any issues. And I was talking to the guy, and he was telling me, like, yeah, this is a huge problem for them. And so this is a story he told me. Apparently, a news van. Like a local news van was shooting a story down in the west end of Vancouver, and they were still using just like some audio packs, some audio equipment that was utilizing spectrum that had since been purchased by Rogers. And when these things happen, there's like a phase out period. Like you've got 3 years to, for this industry to stop using it, and then you've got another 2 years like grace period, and then it's illegal. And Rogers paid something like, I don't know, $4 billion or something stupid like that for the spectrum so that they could provide better coverage for their customers. Anyway, so he's like, yeah, I went out to investigate this thing. Turns out it was this news van, and they knocked out the cellular service for pretty much that entire area.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Just by broadcasting their news broadcast on that spectrum.
Theoretically, what can he even do about that, though? Because that's a consumer using a product that they bought.
No, that is a news publication, like a professional publication that is subject to the law, for one thing. So the law of not interfering with non-public spectrum.
But can you just write a law and then make it so that people can't have to buy new things? Like that seems really short-sighted.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you can. Oh yeah, it happens all the time. In fact, our two Sennheiser EW110G 3-packs, one of them is going to go obsolete in a while. And they are not interoperable because the regulations were changed. So Sennheiser had to revise the SKU that they were selling in Canada.
That is super annoying.
Totally a thing. Definitely. Yeah. So anyway... But I mean, this underlines my point.
Some people just did some facepalming thing. I know, like guns and whatnot, but it seems weird for consumer electronics to be able to be ripped from people's hands.
Mm-hmm. But that is the way it is, and this underlines my point. Where what I'm trying to say is that's how crowded the available radio spectrum is. That we're fighting tooth and nail, paying billions of dollars for access to use tiny slivers of it and ripping the electronics out of people's hands, telling them they have to buy new ones because it is now illegal to use them. Like, that's how crazy it is. So, coming back to the solar drones and the 5G internet, the plan is to use millimeter wave. So, it is believed that millimeter waves are capable of transmitting data 40 times faster than LTE, with the issue being that millimeter waves have pretty much zero penetration power and very limited range. So millimeter wave is the same stuff that they use to scan you at the airport. Just so you guys know. So it can barely penetrate, I think it's, how much of your skin does it manage to?
Not very much.
Like not very much. Yeah. So you think about, okay, yeah, what if my cell phone ran on millimeter wave? All of a sudden, let's say the tower's on the other side of Luke, and I go and I lean forward, boom, my call dropped. Oops. I mean, obviously, just like we've had in the past, we're going to have fallbacks to 4G, 3G. I mean, hell, I think even Edge shows up every once in a while.
It does, somehow.
Sadly. They're still out there. But you don't want your high-speed data going on and off every time you lean towards someone. So that's why taking this stuff off the towers and putting it way up in the air above the consumer could help. Could help with the growing demands for data in the future. So I guess that's pretty much all I have to say about that.
It's really cool.
Seems like a cool idea. I mean,
I love the idea of solar aircraft. It's becoming more and more a thing.
It sketches me out. The first time one of these crashes and hits somebody.
Oh, a drone?
Yeah, it's going to be such a scandal. I don't think. Has anyone actually just been smoked by a random flyaway drone yet? I know the kid got his eye injured, but he was watching his uncle fly it. He was right there. He was involved in the action. Whereas, has anyone had a drone just kind of take off? You get flyaways sometimes, and hit someone's grandma yet? I'm sure Twitch chat is gonna tell me.
There was that Olympian, the skier or whatever. Do you hear about that? It didn't hit him, I don't think, but it landed right behind him. It was one of those big industrial ones.
I did hear about that. I never saw the video though.
I don't think it hit him though, so I don't think that counts. It landed behind him, I believe. Someone killed himself with his own drone. That's not.
Yeah, not quite what I'm talking about. I'm talking about whether it's an Amazon delivery drone or some other kind of commercial drone or some random drone, someone where they had no involvement in the drone experience other than to be hit by it completely out of nowhere. Yeah, I mean, the first time it happens, it's gonna be a huge deal. I really hope that it's not, one of the 5G internet solar drones, but it's gonna raise a lot more eyebrows about projects like this. Mm-hmm. My Uncle Johnny was killed by a drone, and so we shouldn't fly drones. And there's something to be said for that. We shouldn't fly drones that aren't safe. Yeah. I don't know, looking at the picture of that thing, I don't know what safety mechanisms it contains. Doesn't look like a whole lot, but
looks like it would glide.
But that picture's a render, so
looks like it would glide.
As long as it has a parachute that would deploy, if because, glide is great in theory
until it goes really fast.
Until it collides with something else in the air and it knocks a wing off.
That too.
The thing could be made of foam for all I know.
But even parachuting,
not a guarantee.
And something can still run into it.
Yep. So I don't know, man. Speaking of I don't know, man, if you were thinking to yourself, gee, I don't know how to upgrade to Windows 10.
That's fine.
Microsoft has got you covered.
You don't need to know. You don't need to know at all.
Original article here is from How To Geek. And I think we should open this segment
with my story.
With you telling your story that you told me before the show about what happened to you this week.
Okay.
The one with that dog that came into your house.
What?
Took a crap on your bed.
No. Okay, so
he claims it was a dog.
Maybe not so much. I was here a little bit late last night working. That's a little bit irrelevant, but basically I wasn't at home, and my computer decides to upgrade to Windows 10, and my girlfriend is at my place, and she's like, your computer's doing stuff, and she's like, I didn't touch it, because she's worried that I'm gonna blame her. Yeah, that's fine.
Hey, girlfriend blaming when something goes wrong with the computer, is a thing.
It's a thing. So she's like, okay, I wasn't touching it. I was away somewhere else doing whatever. Yeah. I just saw it. It's now trying to boot up, but not working. She says it keeps restarting, and it's trying to turn on, and it keeps failing and restarting, and I'm like,
because you just rolled back to Windows 7 for better VR compatibility.
Luckily, I don't need it anymore because that alpha thing or beta whatever is gone. Okay. So it's fine. But yeah, it tried to upgrade to Windows 10 all on its little lonesome, good old little independent computer trying to do its own stuff, and it failed, and it bricked my Windows OS. So I was able to very easily recover files because I have an external bay thing sitting right there. So it's like, okay, SSD, shunk, take whatever I needed off of it, which wasn't much because I don't save much on there, put it back in, reformat. Now I'm officially running on Windows 10 because I didn't brick it. Thanks, Microsoft. I tweeted out about that, and Timmy was like, no problem. I was like, I understand that's not your department. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was rough. Thanks for, yeah.
So there's a lot of problems here.
Temporarily.
There's actually like super duper a lot of problems here. I mean, number one is calling an operating system change a recommended update
is not really,
and pushing it automatically. I mean, for the tech savvy people, like someone like Luke, where learning how to use Windows 10 is not going to be much of a challenge.
It was fine, and like recovering my files and reformatting my computer in a grand total of like a couple hours wasn't really a big deal.
But like grandma, who like barely knows how to use her computer as it is,
Geek Squad's gonna make a lot of money.
Yeah, Geek Squad is going to be happy about this one. I'll tell you that much. That is a very good point.
Yeah.
So problem number 2 with doing a system upgrade in this way is that if you manage to get into the operating system and are able to access the rollback feature, I believe the rollback feature does still exist.
I could not recover.
However, there's a reason that any update, firmware update for a mouse, or a driver update for whatever, or a software update, will always say, okay, make sure that there's not going to be a sudden power loss in the middle of this process. Hey, make sure that you back up any important data before we do this. I mean, I have seen some updates that have super nothing to do with my data recommend backing up my data before I proceed, because that's just common sense. That's covering your butt as a software maker to say, hey, back up your data. We're not responsible for any data loss that may occur during this process. For Microsoft to completely forego that due diligence and potentially cause people to spend money at Geek Squad or lose data, something that is so difficult to attach a value to.
One quick second. Effective Monkey in the chat said your GF probably tried turning off the computer in the middle. No, she didn't. Just putting that out there.
Yeah. I've seen the Windows 10 upgrade fail.
Yeah.
I have literally sat and watched it fail. So it can happen.
I knew it wouldn't have worked because I had tried it already. And was like, okay, there's something wrong with my system. It's not working for Windows 10, whatever. I just won't upgrade. That's fine. And I had to do this like crazy recovery process. I tried doing it again this time, and it didn't work. It wasn't her fault. She didn't do anything wrong. Sorry, continue.
So, I mean, I think Microsoft is opening themselves up to a very significant class action here. Anyone who lost, precious photos of their cat or whatever. Babies.
That's going to be the first big one that comes out. I lost photos of my deceased family member,
graduation,
babies or graduation stuff, like
wedding
some form photos. Of super important, can't do it again. Will happen, and then that will be very bad.
And wow. And this just seems crazy to me. And you know what's even crazier is like they did this by accident before and then rolled it back. This time
on purpose.
It's on purpose. And they are apparently even doing Windows 10 upgrade notifications on business PCs now. Which is like, I mean, there's so much more to a business infrastructure than just Windows and Office. Like, there's a lot of stuff that straight up has quirks and compatibility issues going from one version of Windows to another, even though
look at like Premiere and stuff.
7 to 8 to 8.1 to 10 has been relatively seamless. When you compare it to XP to Vista, for example. There are still issues. Like we've had Premiere issues. That was a great example where the new Premiere update was, bricked on 8.1 but not on 7?
My Oculus.
Something like that. Yeah. What was the issue with the Oculus?
Some people were able to get it work with like certain USB. It was USB drivers or something.
Mm-hmm.
Certain USB drivers for certain types of USB 3.0 or 2.0 ports in combination with whatever might work on certain Windows 10 machines. Or you can go to Windows 7 and it's fine.
We've got a lot of people talking about their Windows 10 upgrade experiences. So Spoko in the chat says, Windows 10 upgrade failed with no clear error until I set my boot order to boot directly from the Windows SSD instead of grub on another SSD by complete trial and error. And this is the kind of stuff that, again, like we're saying, is no big deal for the tech-savvy, Linux users out there. But for Grandma? Oh, man.
Grandma probably won't have grub installed, but the point remains. The point remains.
When I first got the Razer Blade 14, the first unit that I got, I set everything up, created my user account, and I was like, oh, I wonder if I can get the Windows 10 update on here. Woo! There it is. Boom. Did it. Failed. I had to factory restore, and I had to try it again, and it worked.
There you go. Yeah.
My
fully updated Windows 7 that I had been using, that was the one that failed the update and basically bricked its own operating system. When I reinstalled Windows with one of my oldest Windows 7 ISOs, because it had to fit on a 4 gig USB, with no updates, I manually went to the Microsoft Get Windows 10 website, did it immediately off the bat, and it worked perfectly.
This is great. Someone says Microsoft Flight Simulator 10 does not work on Windows 10. I think I have actually heard that. I don't remember what the issue was related to, but there you go. That's a perfect example. It's Microsoft's own software. I mean, I know it's old.
Oh, yeah.
But the point is if I've got, my flight sim rig in a closet somewhere, with everything kind of tucked out of the way.
I really don't want it to just automatically update itself.
And I don't touch it for 2 weeks or 2 months, let's say. Maybe you don't use it all the time, and you come back and... What?
Yeah.
So what, now I have to roll back if that works or reformat, or are you freaking kidding me? Ugh. All right, what else we got?
It's funny too because a couple days before last night when this all happened, I was I should probably look into downloading some tool that blocks I wasn't even thinking it was going to do it automatically, but the little annoying pop-up that's you should get Windows 10. I was like, I should just get some tool that blocks that from happening, because that's a little annoying. And I might as well do that. So I was like, yeah, maybe this weekend I'll spend some time and make sure I can block Windows 10 updates. Yeah. And then it's just boom, wrecked. Okay, maybe you saw that coming.
It's it was already annoying. It was already move please, move please, move please, move please, and then it's just
go.
Can you be slightly less pushy, Windows?
Come on.
Actually, there's one more funny thing. Apparently, and I haven't actually seen the original statement here, so this is from my notes in the doc, so you'll have to forgive me. Apparently, Microsoft's response in a blog post says that if you are on a metered connection on Windows 7 or 8.1 and you don't want this download to occur, then you can just turn off automatic updates. Just what? So I'm just supposed to not get security patches because I don't want to upgrade my operating system? I get it. You guys are trying to super hardcore aggressively EOL Windows 10 or Windows 7 and Windows 8 and 8.1. You don't want to create another XP situation where I believe they still have active contracts with, what was it, the US Navy or something? Yeah, to support Windows XP because ships run on it. But so I get it. You're trying to EOL those operating systems. You're trying to get everyone onto Windows 10. But you have to understand that even as Windows 10 evolves, maybe in the same way that OS 10 has. Is that a coincidence, I wonder? Where it gets all these different cats or mountains or whatever. You are still going to have to support this stuff because even these small incremental updates are going to break compatibility. I mean, there's all sorts of stuff that works in, Bengal but doesn't work in HouseCat
and
or
all that
Microsoft
checks for is driver stuff. They don't check for software stuff.
And it's so much deeper than that. I mean,
it really is.
I mean, I will give them kudos. Windows Update does a way better job of drivers than it used to.
On Windows 10, it's actually really good.
Even those weird Emulex 10 gig NICs. You boot into the operating system, boom, drivers installed for it. No big deal.
The setup time on Windows 10 is very fast.
Yeah, so I will give them that. But they are still nowhere on application compatibility.
Yeah.
They basically haven't touched it. And I get it. There are more
That's crazy.
Windows applications than you could count if you started counting today. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Like, you couldn't count that high. Sorry, not in your lifetime. So I get it. But it means you can't do stuff like this.
Yes.
You don't have an app store where developers are required to maintain their own database of compatibility in a way that the store understands and can interpret for the user.
Like the setup time is fast. Like last night when it screwed up, I was like, well, I have to reset up everything for stream tomorrow. And like it's basically there now. So I got home at like 9 and I was able to do that in a reasonable time before I went to bed. That's pretty good, but I definitely should not have had to do that.
All right, let's get into our next thing that no one should have had to do. This was posted by, okay, no one should have had to look at an ugly website, Squarespace. So if you're not familiar with Squarespace at all, may I suggest that you go back and watch some of our awesome coverage of CES?
Yeah. Yeah.
Hey, there was a lot of cool stuff at the show this year.
There was.
And all of it was brought to you by Squarespace.
So at the end of literally every single one of those videos, there's a whole rundown of like how it works.
Yep. I got to the point where like throughout the day I would try to cover all the points, but each video didn't necessarily contain every point. But we'll run through all the points of why Squarespace is awesome now. First up, they worked with Jeff Bridges. Second up,
it's not wrong.
They had a Super Bowl commercial.
Also not wrong.
Third, their logo is really cool. It's like an S, and it's like kind of squiggly. I think it's a great logo. Fourth, they're bros.
Yeah.
Good people over there. We like Squarespace. 5, I guess, the thing that they actually do. So Squarespace allows you to build your own beautiful website using one of their great templates that has all kinds of features. So whether you want to use their logo designer to create a cool logo, or you want to create a store where people can buy like knickknacks that you make, or whatever else, or you want to create
tools to avoid updating Windows 10.
Yeah. Say, for example, you created a website about that. Boom. You could do it on Squarespace, and their plans start at just $8 a month. All the management of your site is through the cloud. You don't have to, like, create a web server and run that in your closet or any of that complicated nonsense. And it is... what was I going to say? Right. It's scalable, and you get a free domain if you sign up for an entire year. So... if all that sounds pretty good, and you've been thinking to yourself, gee, I could use an affordable way to run my own website, even if it's just for, like, I don't know, the minor league soccer team that you run. You just want, like, a cool little website where you have some pictures, you can recruit some new people to join the team, whatever kind of site you want to make. Squarespace makes it easy. And if you want to check it out, all you got to do is go to squarespace.com and use offer code Linus, and you can save 10% on building your beautiful website today. They've got a 2-week free trial, by the way, so you don't have to commit right up front.
No credit card required.
No credit card required.
On the 2-week free trial.
Speaking of no credit card required, have you ever been a small business owner and had someone come to you and be like, yeah, you know, I would have loved to pay that bill, but I never saw it? Or, hey, do you accept credit card? And you're all like, no, I don't. Freshbooks is the accounting solution for you. Also cloud-based, but in a very different sort of way. So you can use your phone to do things like track how many hours you're spending on a project. You can track the expenses.
Yeah, you can just take pictures of your receipts and it handles everything else.
Handles all that stuff. You can
generate invoices.
You can generate invoices. You can send them to the client. You can see that the client has read it.
You can receive deposits.
You can receive deposits and final payments through the app, or I shouldn't call it an app, but through the service by credit card. And if you ever have any questions and you want to talk to their support, you call them and you will speak to a real human. No phone tree. No escalating to a level 2 technician or anything like that. No, enter your number and record a brief message. Hi, is this? Linus Sebastian. If it is, press 1. If it isn't, please hold until Linus Sebastian is on the phone and press 1. Come on! Come on! So anyway, you'll talk to a real person, and all you got to do is go to freshbooks.com/WAN and get a free trial today. And they also just got a mobile card reader, so you can even take credit card payments when you are on the go. So I don't know, you have a traveling pedicure service, or maybe a more likely scenario would be a locksmith, for example. I mean, there's so many small businesses, and they can benefit from FreshBooks if you want to spend more time running your business and less time screwing around with accounting nonsense, especially if you are not a numbers person. So we've actually got something else we can move on to today that is different from what we normally do. This is our build of the, what is it?
Moment.
We just call it moment
well,
now?
because like week died super hard, and then month, like, it became like half year, basically. So I guess it's moment now. That was a probably whaler initiative.
So we've got a featured build for you guys. Do you want to drop us out of the frame there? And let's go ahead. So the voters pick, and this one was made Project Ravage by Clownface1511. So let's go ahead and walk through. I haven't actually looked at this yet, but it has some BA specs. What's up?
I didn't want to delete it.
Oh, so you just put yourself?
Well, that's as far out as the frame I can.
Fine, then you lead us through. No, I don't want to do it anymore.
No, you're in the corner.
No, I don't want to.
You're in the other corner.
I don't want to do it anymore.
You're in the corner.
I'm not doing it. I'm just going to control the slideshow. You do it.
Okay, but you have to stay the person on screen. There you go. There's an Intel Core i7 5960X and Asus X99 Deluxe 3.1, 2 GB reference 980 Ti's, an EVGA Supernova P2 1200 watt power supply, 16 gigs of G-Skill Ripjaws memory. Whoa, okay, no more of that.
I got bored.
It is a awesome looking desk computer. Look at that water cooling arrangement at the top.
Holy smokes. I love it.
Super clean runs.
DIY'd like crazy. Like, look at this.
That's pretty sick.
I'm loving the way this is set up. Like, you got no interference from the legs. It's got really good support right here. It looks
strong.
It looks really strong, but not in like, it doesn't look like shop furniture.
No. It looks like the, the modern like industrial design style furniture stuff. Yeah. I
like it. Damn, knocked to a fans.
I was just gonna say Linus is gonna like the fans too.
Whoa, that is some intricate hardline work right there. That is not easy. What is going on right there?
That looks really clean.
That is gorgeous. Optional red 3.
Yeah.
Fan-freaking-tastic.
Wow.
Oh, and look at that desk surface.
Oh, I like how it only actually peeks through in that one part. That actually looks really cool.
That is absolutely sick.
I love how monstrous that computer is.
Love the finished desk shot here.
That monitor.
And the trophies. The boxes from the hardware. Power supply and motherboard boxes. Very, very nice. Wow. Gorgeous machine. All right, let's move on to our second one. So that was the community choice, and this one is the staff choice from the LTT forum staff. This Prezi.com thing has gotten a lot better since the first time we tried to use it. Yeah. Because that was a disaster.
Yep.
All right, so this is by Stefan1024, the Silent Cube. So a little bit more down-to-earth hardware, but still really, really good.
Yeah, just wait till you see it.
Wow, I'm loving that copper block. Is that homemade?
Pretty sure.
Wow.
I haven't actually read the build log, so sorry.
Holy
I'm not entirely
smokes.
sure.
Yeah, that looks...
But it looks very custom to me. And, like, do you see... There's the cube. So, wait, go... Yeah, you can see it there. Let's open a bit.
Okay.
Go forward.
Oh,
what?
Gosh darn it. Okay. Here we go.
There you go.
Wow. Damn heat sinks, though. Look at that.
So that's actually, it's kind of funny that came up. That's how I thought the Microsoft underwater servers were going to work. Just having the walls be giant heatsink fins.
Yeah, that's interesting.
But nope.
Very interesting.
Super cool.
Look how big it is. I love it. Look at that thermal camera shot even. This is a serious machine here, man.
Yeah, that's actually super cool.
That is fantastic. I mean, the lengths that some people will go to silence their computers. Although, I believe that my project, while not as cool as this one...
No, that's pretty amazing.
...is actually a little bit crazier, if not on the same level, where I go as far as to remove the computer from the room.
Oh.
Just like I don't mean crazy like in terms of the skill involved or anything. I mean crazy in terms of like how mental I must be to care that much about a little bit of computer hum. Where I'm going to be like, nope, the computer may not be in the same room as me anymore.
Yeah.
It must be removed. It will no longer be in the room with me.
I maintain that there's acceptable amounts of computer hum.
Nope.
That's okay. That you think that's fine.
I'm glad you approve. Thank you.
But I just don't mind. And it has to be like a certain tone. Like if I can hear the airflow, that's fine. If I can literally hear the fan, that's maybe not good.
Rattle is the worst.
Yes, yeah, I don't like rattle. But if it's just like, that's probably fine.
All right, let's get a straw poll up. Computer noise. Does it matter? Yes, no. Turnip.
Okay, well that's not as simple as it because I don't like computer noise in general.
A little.
Like acceptable, but acceptable amount isn't an okay.
Let's say somewhat.
Somewhat, yeah.
Okay.
So somewhat's for like if you can hear the air flowing and stuff, but there's no rattle and whatnot.
Yeah. Okay. So there we go, guys. We wanna hear from you guys. Let's hit that straw poll. All right. Let's see these results. Do you want to screen share me?
Sure.
And do you want to fire up our next topic while
Sure.
while these results come in? We could do one of our rapid fires or something like that. Oh no, let's do the dad. So this is bananas. This was posted by Aluminum Tech on the forum about a dad who spent a night in jail after confiscating his daughter's iPhone. Now, to be clear, the headline is somewhat sensationalist. There is more to this. The dad was not put in jail for confiscating his daughter's iPhone for an hour that he gave her. It is a little more complicated than that. So the iPhone was actually provided by the daughter's mother, his ex-wife, and he took it and kept it for a long period of time. So it was actually, the ex-wife is arguing, her property, and that him taking it was tantamount to stealing. So, this is a whole other level of family crazy.
Yeah.
That I'm glad that I don't have to be involved in.
Yeah.
So it looks like pretty much everyone agrees with you and pretty much no one agrees with me. So I'm pretty much done with that straw poll. Do you want to...
No, there's a fair amount of people that agree with you.
Hold on. Hold on. I want to bring this up. So the original article here that that was posted on the forum was from Mashable. So there's a picture of a phone. Other than that, it's a whole lot of text. You want to fire us back to full screen? There we go.
If I had a MIDI controller, this would be sick.
So basically, he confiscated his daughter's cell phone as a punishment for sending quote-unquote inappropriate text back in 2013. He was found not guilty on Tuesday, by the way. So this is why we're hearing about it now. Was that the judgment just came through. And is going to file a complaint for civil rights violation because his take on the whole thing is that it was, I don't remember what word he used, but basically it was ridiculous. And he said his 12-year-old daughter was trying to organize an attack on another minor, so he confiscated the phone. And I can think of 100 reasons. Like, I've got kids. I can think of 100 reasons why I would confiscate their phone.
Yeah.
And to not be allowed to do that as a parental discipline measure, even if the phone was provided and the bill was paid or whatever or even if the phone was provided
by whoever else.
By whoever it was, too bad.
Yeah.
You're a minor. You're 12. A phone is a privilege when you're 12, and if you're using it for something that is deemed inappropriate, as a parent, you don't get to have that anymore. Too freaking bad. A phone is not an inalienable right. It's not food, it's not shelter, it's not water, it's not sleep. So anyway, a few hours...
He didn't sell it, he didn't do anything with it, he just... Yeah.
So a few hours after he grabbed the phone, the police showed up. So the mother who owned the phone said, you can't take someone's property regardless if you're a parent or not. So I can already tell exactly what she sounded like when she was saying that.
Yep.
Like, I can picture that idiot in my head right now. With that said, we don't know what his history with her is, and we don't know, why she would have taken that particular stance. I'm not judging anyone here. I'm just saying I can imagine what that person probably sounds like. The father turned down a plea deal, which would have involved turning over the phone, and spent one night in jail because he refused to give it back. And
so that's a fun relationship.
Says that the dispute has rendered any future relationship with his daughter and her mother impossible. Holy crap.
People are mad.
People are freaking
And it's not just
crazy.
in Twitch chat. People are mad.
I mean, here's a really crazy thing. When he refused to take the deal, the Dallas County District Attorney's Office upped the charges to Class B misdemeanor, which in Texas could be a $2,000 fine and up to 6 months in jail.
Oh my god.
I mean, you have got to be freaking kidding me here.
You can change it if you don't take a plea? That seems kind of...
I'm not actually sure. I mean, what...
We need John's help.
Yeah, we need John's help. Like, what charge you are trying to apply to someone? I mean, when it's a crime that is so difficult to classify, taking a phone as a parent temporarily, but that isn't yours because it belongs to the other parent who you are no longer sharing finances with. Like,
but okay, even if it was the kids, as a parent, wouldn't you be allowed to take it?
oh, wow. Hold on a second.
Like if the kid worked.
Hold on. Yeah. Okay. We need to do straw poll. Straw poll here. Let me create the straw poll.
We should just get John would just.
Then
know.
we'll discuss. Okay.
Sure. I
So
think you need to make a new. That's viewing it.
Yeah. Okay. So 12-year-old's phone.
Could a 12-year-old have a? Okay.
Inappropriate use. Like, let's say they were using it to Let's say that what he said is true. They are clearly using it to organize an attack on another minor or something. So there is a safety reason.
Yeah.
Okay. So 12-year-old's phone, inappropriate use, okay for parent to confiscate if it is their property. Yes, no, wow, this is complicated.
Wow, this is complicated. I would probably vote for that one. I still think, I don't know.
Because I think we can agree that unless there is... So organize an attack. Like, let's say let's call it bullying. Let's say that, it's something where it's clearly wrong, but there isn't necessarily a law in place.
Like, there is.
Hey, is there a law in place that you can't pie someone at school?
That's assault.
Is it assault?
Yeah.
Okay, let's come up with something. Let's come up with something that's mean but not illegal. You can call someone names. Or is that verbal assault? Is there a charge?
Is that threatening? Because threatening, there's a charge for, I think.
Well, I don't know. If you call someone Dumbo ears or something, like, it's not a threat. You're not threatening to take their ears.
Yeah.
So let's say they're just coordinating being mean. Okay. Mean in some way that is, we're not going to try and figure out what's legal or not legal.
Mean in some way that's legal.
Yeah, mean in some way that's legal, okay?
Slander. Shit. There's a law against, like, everything.
Yeah, I know. So, don't worry about it. It's mean in some way that is legal, but the 12-year-old owns the phone. Okay, so I think we can all agree that if you're an adult and you're talking about, like, pulling a prank on your friends or being mean to them or something, unless you're doing something illegal, no one has the right to take your stuff from you. That would be theft. Yeah. Unless the police, with a warrant, can take it from you.
Because this is interesting too, but
or probable cause or whatever.
Teachers can hold things, can't they?
Because we're talking about minors.
Yeah. So then, wouldn't your parents be able to? Almost no matter what it is.
Right, because
the teacher can.
The teacher can take it, but then that's created issues as well.
Yeah, because the asthma inhaler or whatever.
Yeah, teachers confiscating things.
Illogical. And then the phone because of emergencies.
Has been an issue.
But the idea that they're able to do it, has that actually been stopped?
Someone are saying, as a teacher, no, they cannot. Teachers have no right to take stuff, apparently. Oh. So there you go. I know it's something that definitely happened when we were in school.
And it still happens.
Yeah, definitely still happens. Totally a thing.
Maybe that's a Canadian thing.
But apparently they cannot do it. They cannot do it. And this is going to vary from place to place. Anyway, let's go to our straw poll results. I'm going to go with yes. I'm going to agree with most people here. If it belongs to them, they're using it for something inappropriate. Too bad. And like that, you're just going to have the conversation where.
What if they're not using it for something inappropriate?
So if they do something else,
like, for instance,
they don't eat their dinner, and you're like, I'm going to take your phone if you don't eat your dinner.
Yeah, not to call out my my parents. My parents are wonderful. I love my parents. But like, if I did something wrong, or if I was a little jerk for whatever reason.
No Nintendo.
Yeah. Or they'd like take my speakers away. I had this speaker system in my room. Or like you can't use your Nintendo, you can't use your Xbox, you can't game on the computer, you can't do whatever it is, you can't do something, you can't use this, we are taking this. Like there's one point in time where I had to forfeit my radio or whatever. My mom held it in her room and took it. It wasn't because I was using the radio, it's because of something else. So it wasn't because of inappropriate use of the radio. So it actually had nothing to do with the radio.
So we've got someone bringing up that
I personally think that's okay.
The ex-wife did it only because she doesn't like him and wants to make his life difficult. We know that, but what we're discussing is the not necessarily even the legality, but the right. Like what is your what makes something theft?
Yeah.
So if you were to buy your game console yourself, is it theft if your parents tell you? If they take it. Well, what they could do is they could say you're not allowed to use it. You may not use our electricity to power that. But can they take it away?
I don't know.
Everything is gray right now.
Yeah, it is. We need John.
Yeah.
John. Should I just get John?
No, it's okay. I think we should probably move
gone.
on to the next topic. Yeah, he's probably gone for the day anyway.
Yeah. Yeah, someone said it's called parenting. That's kind of my thing on it. Like my parents taking away my speaker because I was a little jerkhole is super
okay.
Fine.
And made him the stunning man that he pointed out to me that he is today. No, seriously though, like
if you how like you can't hit them anymore.
Yeah.
You can't take their stuff away.
I don't know that spanking is illegal.
Oh, I don't know.
I'm pretty sure corporal punishment is actually still legal. It's just society has decided that you can't do that. And I personally don't believe that's effective anyway. I mean...
No, because like not to bring up my parents again. They'd break like a spoon or a hairbrush or something on us, and my brother and I would just like laugh and be like, "Ha, we win." So like, maybe not.
Without getting too deep into this, I do actually think that there's a time and a place. I was spanked one time growing up, and it was done at a very young age, and I remember it to this day. Now, if it had happened all the time, I think it's kind of like swearing. If someone who never swears,
it's very impactful.
You go, what?
Yeah.
They've made their point. Whatever just happened was really painful or really upsetting or whatever the case may be. But someone who swears all the time, you don't even notice. It starts to just become part of the casual flow of conversation.
Like wolf crying.
So I got spanked for pulling a wicked tantrum in Safeway because I wasn't allowed to have a donut. Like, I'm talking the actual, like, kicking, like scooting myself around on my back, yelling on the floor in the middle of the grocery store,
You're
tantrum.
Terrible. Yep.
So my dad dropped the groceries, put them down in the store, physically picked me up, took me to the car, and...
Kafwap.
Yep, gave me the old, don't do that. And I remember that. Now, to my mom... I believe she only spanked one of my other siblings once. Like it was not a thing in my family, hitting.
Yeah.
But what happened was she ran away down the street without telling anyone where she was going when she was about, 4 or something like that. And I think it was just one of those, I don't know what else to do. You do not do that. And to this day, she still remembers the incident and never did that again. So
I don't know. This isn't parenting tips. I have no problem with what my parents did, but then at the same time, my brother and I both like played football, and like getting hit with something really wasn't that big of a deal.
And I have no problem with what my parents did. With that said, I have never hit my kids. I don't plan to hit my kids. I don't think it's the best way to reinforce the correct behavior. Yeah, I guess, like, I'm not judging. I'm saying I don't disagree with what my parents did. It's not what I plan to do.
It's not how I train dogs.
I'm
never going to have kids, but it's not how I train dogs.
Yeah.
Some people train dogs that way, and I don't like that. So, whatever.
I mean, I don't know, man. Yeah, I don't know. The thing about pain is it's nature's teacher. That is for sure. Pain tells you touch a hot stove element, don't do that anymore.
With dogs,
But
there's other ways to make them realize. There's other forms of pain too.
Well, dogs are a little bit different because, like, with dogs, there's a dominance thing.
Yeah.
So you can, like, it would be very common. Like, I had a dog when I was growing up, and if he did something like really, really way out of line, then, like, if he was running after and trying to kill one of the chickens, and I had to, like, catch him, grab the scruff of the neck, grab around the neck, don't choke, but grab the neck, look in the eye, right in his face, no, a little bop on the nose. It doesn't hurt, but it tells him who's boss. I have no problem with that, but you never hurt a dog.
You can do, like emotional stuff, like getting right in his face and saying, it's going to make an awkward situation. He'll be like, oh, wow, what was I doing? It's a similar thing with... Anyways, yeah.
But there's a lot of different ways to deal with this stuff, and I don't think that pain is the right answer necessarily. Although I will say that the one animal that I have ever resorted to pain with is a cow. They are actually too stupid to live. It was the only way that I could move him. Like, I'm talking like, and he was big, right? He's a cow, okay? Like, I would get behind and I would push him as hard as I can. I would pull, I would have all my weight and pushing as hard as I could on the ground on a halter on his head, and it would just be like, go ahead and try. With that cow, I would even push him with my foot on his butt, like try to get him to move. Because once I got him moving, he would go to his stall, but he would refuse to move. So it got to the point where I would actually have to kind of take a run at it, and like push with my feet as hard as I could, and then he would kind of go. And then he would move. It's the stupidest creature that I've ever encountered.
I find it kind of interesting, and I wonder, like, some psychologist has probably done some research on this and stuff, but you remember what you were doing, where, why, all that kind of stuff. I just remember breaking the thing. I don't remember what I was doing. I don't remember what I was being punished for. I don't remember where it was. I just remember the hairbrush breaking and being like, yeah. Like, I don't remember anything other than that at all. I don't remember what I was doing, where, when, why. I don't know what age I was. Right. I don't even remember who was doing it. Like, I don't remember which one was spanking me. I have no idea.
That's hilarious.
Not a clue.
All right. Well, I think we've run out of time. We didn't manage to cover a lot of topics today, but you guys don't seem to care. There's 7,600 of you watching the show.
Number of armchair lawyers in Twitch chat right now, so painful.
Oh, John wanted us to bring him on. You know what? I
am not gone. Come get me.
I have a babysitter at home. I have to go. If you want to continue the stream with John, then that's cool, but I actually have to peace.
Okay. We should do an after party then.
I will bring... Okay, sure. So thanks for watching The WAN Show, guys. We will see you again next week. Same bat time, same bat channel.
Freshbooks! Squarespace! Thank you for watching! Okay, goodbye!